Sup snakes! In today's video, I'm going to be watching, reacting to Starfield gameplay, and talking about it in my perspective as an Earth scientist or someone with an Earth science background. A little bit about me. Obviously, I make video game content, Fallout content, as well as Starfield and other gaming Bethesda games content, and I am also a graduate student with the goal of becoming a PhD student in Earth and planetary sciences, and I'm really excited about Starfield because I think there's going to be a lot of like pertinent stuff to things that I know about as a nerd over here, and I just wanted to watch the gameplay trailer, kind of go over it with my perspective through the lens of the sciences that I am well versed in. You'll notice I obviously don't have the YouTube placard. Do have a diploma back there. So I thought it would be kind of fun to talk about it with my perspective. I think I bring a little bit of a different perspective as someone who is balls deep in this science, as it were. So without further ado, don't forget, Mama's giving away a little Starfield controller. The description of that giveaway is going to be in the description of this video. Drop a like, don't forget to follow, and let's drop that intro. Oh, I love my intro. It's jazzy. I don't even know. It's not jazz, but whatever. Okay, so we're gonna watch this video. It's just the gameplay trailer that came out with the showcase. You know, the showcase I was at, which was pretty cool, where I met Todd Howard, all that. This dropped then, super good. But through the lens of me, a dork who knows planetary sciences to some extent, enough to have a diploma and be pursuing a PhD in it pretty soon here. If you're wondering what my education background is, I have a bachelor's in earth sciences with minors in geography, anthropology, and soil sciences, and I am currently getting my master's in geospatial sciences, and I plan to get my PhD. I'm applying right now for earth and planetary sciences. Long story short, earth. I study the earth and things like that. So now you have the context. All right, viewer discretion is advised. I love this here. It's a super identifiable location on Earth. Very cool. The Gateway Arch in St. Louis. I think it's pretty neat. I am from a town called San Luis Obispo, and my urge is to say San, not Saint. So if I mess up at all, that's why. A lot of people who are not from my area will call it St. Louis Obispo, which is whatever. It all means the same thing. They all mean saint. It's just a different language. So I think this is really interesting here. Obviously, we know that Earth does exist. We are in this at least is in the Milky Way. We're going to be exploring known galaxies and things like that within this game, which I think is really cool and kind of centers it in like, oh, this is something that could occur in the near future. It's like known stars, known planets, things like that. Super fascinating to me that they're doing it that way instead of just like a new unknown universe, galaxy, whatever. It's pretty neat. And it does establish this, I think, obviously they've said multiple times, but it's very clear from this to me that this is clearly not the same timeline universe as Fallout. Some people are, I'm sure, going to have theories, but they've already said it's not that. So, for full clarity there.
Humanity has always hunted for knowledge in the unknown.
Very true. Humanity has always hunted for knowledge in the unknown. I think there's this level to within the sciences right now where there's such a push to go to space, such a push to go to Mars, to do more there, and then as well as explore the ocean, as it is something that is literally on our own planet that we know so little about when compared to what we know about like our near galaxy, relatively near galaxy. It's super fascinating too, because like of the two, where I would feel more safe is probably space. Just because the ocean is scary, man.
The wonder is...
Ooh, gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. Okay, so we are seeing some asteroids. I'm wondering if this is our solar system in the asteroid belt, looking through it. I'm imagining would be my guess. So as we can see here, there are asteroids, and we also see a little moon in the distance. If you guys can see that over here, we see asteroids all over the place, looking towards a planet that I would say is a not a massive planet would be my guess, and I'm guessing that we are in the asteroid belt looking towards Mars in this perspective, which I think is really interesting, which would be, especially since the sun seems to be here, like the layout of this is perfect for being in our solar system within our own asteroid belt looking towards Mars, although Mars does have 2 moons that orbit it. One could obviously be behind and just out of the frame, and then the sun is somewhere over here in the distance where it's our perspective would be within the asteroid belt. And to give you a little bit better picture of that, I'll pull up our where the asteroid belt is in our own solar system. So because the beginning shot is within Earth, and then it's kind of moving away from Earth in my perspective of this trailer, I think that we are in the asteroid belt, somewhere here looking towards Mars, and then obviously we have the sun somewhere out of frame. So if I were to like be mapping where this is within our own solar system, because that's my guess, because it's all the terrestrial planets, then the asteroid belt, and then we get into a lot of like the gas giants and things like that. So I think we're somewhere from this perspective, I know I'm probably overanalyzing, but this is what you guys came here for. We're somewhere in the asteroid belt looking towards Mars and seeing the sun in the distance. Although I'm sure there are more planetary science people who could give it greater perspective, but that's just what I noticed immediately, especially when you look at like the placement of the sun here. Am I overanalyzing? Probably. Are all the planets in our solar system definitely going to be in this game to explore? I would hedge a bet on yes, and I would include planetoids like Pluto and ones that I grew up with as a planet, things like that. But yeah, so the sun somewhere over here, then we have this terrestrial planet, it appears, then an asteroid belt. This could be another planet, but I'm gonna hedge a bet and just say it's a moon of whatever planet this is. And you can see from where the light is cast on it that this moon, I think, is further away. That's my perspective. I really do think we're in the asteroid belt looking towards Mars from this lens, which, I don't know, kind of cool. I think they're moving away from Earth, and that's how they're kind of doing this trailer, which is really interesting.
Not that the field of stars
Absolutely beautiful. Like, gorgeous. Love this.
is so vast.
Okay, and now we are on a moon of Saturn. It looks like one of the moons that is an ice moon. We can also see in the distance here another moon and an additional moon. I'll have to look up real quick which moon this is. Okay, so the first thing I noticed, obviously, immediately about what I believe it has to be a moon because it's terrestrial, is that it has ice and like jagged cliffs. And we also have like a somewhat visible, like see-through atmosphere of this moon. Like there's not a like lot, you can see through it to see our sun, and I'm assuming Saturn. I'm going to say that this is probably still within our solar system. As I said when they showed Mars and the asteroid belt, they're moving like further and further out from Earth, which was the first establishing shot of this trailer. Now, at first I wanted to say like it's Titan, which is like such a large moon. When you think of moons of Saturn, Titan is going to be one of the earliest ones that comes to mind. However, Titan does have a bit of like a hazy atmosphere, and I just don't think you would get this absolutely clear picture of Saturn from it. I could be wrong. I also will say I don't think we're within one of Saturn's rings here. Prometheus, one of Saturn's moons, is like within one of the rings. I don't think it's that, though I do think we are on a near close moon. It's possible. It's also like hard to say too, because like Saturn appears relatively small here, whereas if you were in the rings, the planet itself would look like not the rings. The planet would look so much perspective wise massive. So I don't think at first I was like, oh, it's on a near moon. I don't think it's a near moon at this point, just because it seems a little bit further out. So my bet would be Enceladus, but now as I think about it, I'm like, is it Enceladus? I think from the perspective of where Enceladus is, which is right here, Saturn would appear a lot bigger than it does in this image. So I'm really not, I don't know. But also Enceladus is icy. So that would be logical. But when I look back at this does not appear to be ice to me. It appears more to be like, it does look cold. Obviously, it's going to be cold in that area of space. But I don't think it's fresh ice, which is what Enceladus has on it. So I think I'm going to have to land on Dione, which is also an icy planet, and it has a bit more distance for this perspective for the planet itself to appear so small as it does here, which this is small for Saturn. Like if you've ever seen close-up images of Saturn from various its various moons, like this looks small relatively. Like the rings obviously look big here, but the planet within the rings is also quite massive. So I'm going to say that it is Dione. That's my perspective of what I think it is. Dione also has ice. So that would be my guess. I could be wrong. But just based off the perspective of it, I really don't think it is super near to Saturn. We also see 2 other moons in the distance here. And then, you know, there's a moon in the F ring as well that almost appears visible here. Very difficult to see. I'm going to say, yeah, we're probably on Dione here. In case you were wondering. Let's get back into it.
But that we have measured.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Look at that. Okay, now, very important intro. I love the perspective of in our own galaxy. I wonder if we're in our own galaxy here. This is really pretty landscape. We also see some, this to me screams of evidence of moving water on this planet, whatever planet it is. We can see some like large rock structures in the distance here, and they're very like columnar. They're like pillars kind of. This to me would say like, oh, this is a kind of landscape that has seen some erosion via hydrology, or perhaps I wouldn't say snow or ice in this case, because those tend to have more rounded, curved valleys than this one. So I would say this probably had some kind of hydraulic water erosion in my mind. That's my perspective of it, because what tends to happen, and you can see these kind of phenomenon happening on Earth in areas where there's these like capstones on, or it's just like these large parent material that's harder to erode than the surrounding material, and you get like these structures that kind of stand up. I'll give you an example real quick. So I just confirmed, like, it's just stack. It's a pretty basic geological principle in that this material that we see here in this image is harder to erode than the surrounding material. So what happens is the surrounding material erodes, leaving these like pillar-like structures of the harder material. To me, this smacks of either wave action or extensive river erosion. And obviously in this example, we're seeing the ocean. So I do think that whatever planet this is, to me, looks like one that's had some kind of water being one of the geological drivers and like structuring this planet in a way that it is. Obviously now the water is gone. You know, we see this all over the place where water once was, now is not. Also, the note of like below, it's kind of looks sandy and it's very flat. Also indicates water to me, or water action in the past. We also see this kind of structure in like river action, which is really interesting. Yeah, this is a very notable feature that's found around the Grand Canyon. Super cool, super fascinating to me. But because of this like flat bottom here, it's sorry, that's Saturn. It's not, it's to me saying more oceanic erosion kind of thing. So that's what I think for that one. Going again. Okay. Yeah, I'm overanalyzing, guys. Trust. I'm going to deep dive into all of these planets and tell you the geology of all of them once this game goes out. It'll be a lot of fun. Oh, absolutely. I'm going to wait for the light to come up. Okay, this is gorgeous. Super pretty. Super, super, super pretty. To me, this looks like, again, a planet with water. Super evident. We have life on this planet, trees, things like that. Could be Earth. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, I don't think I have to overanalyze this one because it's not barren like the last one. We have plant life here. There is plenty of indication of water erosion, snow erosion. These like very pointed peaks are very evident of that. So a big marker of glacier erosion in the valleys is a U shape, but at the peaks is what are called horns. So if you've heard of like the Matterhorn, the huge indicator of that, this glacial erosion will round out those valleys, and you'll get these very pointy little peaks on either side. I think that's what this looks like to me in this trailer. It's not quite as pointed, but it does to me reek of like snow and repeated ice and snow erosion, as well as just the fact that we're getting some evergreen trees in this area tends to be in those kind of regions as well. That's what it indicates to me. I think this could potentially be on Earth, although it is hard to say. I mean, you never know, right? It could be somewhere else.
The biggest question of all. What's out there?
Oh, so pretty. So freaking pretty. I'm questioning like what planet this is, or if it is Earth. And at the point we're at in this trailer, it's like, are we still on Earth? We in the beginning, before they dropped the Bethesda logo, we like moved away from Earth. We started on Earth, and then we went to like asteroid belt, and then we went to like Saturn's moon, getting further and further away. This one, from this perspective, we have 3 terrestrial planets stacked in a row. I can see some water on this planet, which is interesting. And while part of me wants to say it's like Earth, Venus, I don't think so. I don't think so. I honestly don't. Just because the Earth, I don't think Earth would look, maybe it's just diffused light that's making it look like this. I feel like it would be a lot more green and blue, but it could be another star system that we're looking at here. Ooh, okay. That's so cool. Oh, so pretty. Oh, okay, so this occur. I mean, like, the fact that they're lit is a whole other story. I don't know what would be causing this, like, luminescence to them, but this appears to me to be, like, when you get, like, God, it's so cool, guys. This is like real. These things do exist on our own planet, and in theory would exist on other planets, but to me, this looks like quartz, just the shape of the mineral. To me, it appears to have the correct number of sides, but let me double check. Okay, I was not wrong in my mind. Quartz has 6 sides. This appears to me to have 6 sides just from a general glance. If we're looking at this one right here, it's 1, 2, 3, and then in theory, in my mind, although never assume in science, the other 3 sides would be on the opposite side of it. That's what I'm seeing. So I'm seeing this as like a crystalline cave of quartz with some other minerals here. This doesn't have that quartz structure, and the fact that they come to a point like this, it matches the crystalline structure of quartz. And if you look, this is what quartz caves looks like. These are real. These exist on Earth. They're super fascinating, and with the abundance of like quartz crystals and silicone, which is one of the main components of quartz, in the solar system, in the known universe, this makes sense to me as being, it could even be on Earth, but not necessarily. The fact that it's glowing, unless it's being artificially lit, which there might be some kind of like bioluminescent creatures or something or another over here. I'm not quite sure what these are necessarily, but this to me looks like a quartz cave. Again, this does exist on Earth. Super interesting. Sorry, so for full clarity, these are images of a gypsum cave, but these quartz caves can exist on Earth. Gypsum is 4-sided mineral and crystalline structure, whereas quartz is the 6-sided that we are definitely, in my mind, seeing here. 1, 2, 3. That looks like quartz to me. So I'm thinking that this would be more deep planet. Just because I'm seeing a lot, well, there are some 4-sided ones, but I am seeing some more 6-sided, which would not be as like high up. Like the other cave I showed is due to limestone. I don't know. That's just my thought. That is something that does exist on the planet, is long theorized. There's also like very deep heavy metal deposits and other metal deposits within the Earth. It's super fascinating. So this is not like science fiction. These are things that exist on our own planet, which is super interesting. Moving right along. Super pretty. I'm not seeing much here. Wow, they really are like the flash in and out. Yeah. Oh, gorgeous. So that's obviously an alien planet, not Earth. But yeah, a lot of what looks to me like, not necessarily evergreen trees just by the structure of these trees. And it could be, but, you know, clearly we have plants and life on other planets. Although, you know, it's also feasible that it could be aliens brought to Earth, but I doubt it.
You're part of
oh my God, look how pretty. So pretty. Just had to point that out.
Constellation now. Part of our family.
Gorgeous. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh God, they're flashing so much info. So in the distance, we can see what I am going to guess is a moon, and then another moon out here. This could be Mars if they had some way. Well, these people have helmets on, which is interesting, and this gentleman does not. Fascinating. It could be Mars. It could be, or it could be closer exoplanets. Just because, you know, maybe they total recalled it and they made it like livable. Oh, pretty. So cool. Oh my god, look at that. Oh, gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Another some kind of ice planet or moon with another moon in the distance. These ones we're not going to have as much indication of what planet these are, but it is cool to see.
We do not fully understand all that is at work here.
No finer group in the stars to be unraveling this mystery.
Cool.
I'll follow you from here on out, Captain.
Oh, look at here. Look, we're definitely getting another indication of an asteroid belt here, which is interesting. And some kind of terrestrial planet. I want to say it could be Mars. It also could be in another star system. It almost looks like it has water and some kind of atmosphere and weather. So I do wonder if it within Starfield, if this is Mars that we're looking towards, which is the planet closest to the asteroid belt, terrestrial planet closest to the asteroid belt. Is it Mars? And is there some form of like, did they make it livable on Mars? Did they provide an atmosphere in some way? Did they do something to make Mars livable? Super fascinating to think about. What remains to be seen.
Grab jump is ready. I love this part.
So cool. Ugh. Okay, we're closer to, I'm going to guess maybe. I'm just going to hedge a bet and say that we're still within our own solar system here. And this is Saturn and we're on a near moon to Saturn, which is pretty cool. Okay, yeah, this is my guess for this one. Moving right along.
These artifacts will be everything.
So cool. Oh, wow. Oh, God. Oh, okay. Okay. So the crystalline structure of this appears to be four-sided, which is interesting. It might not be a known mineral, which, you know, seems entirely possible to me that it wouldn't be a known mineral. So when you're looking at, like, mineralogy, there's also an element of it of what angle are the sides to each other. So this is like a near perfect, like, because there's a lot of minerals that have four sides and that form in such a way, but they're not the same shape, right? So it really does appear to be this kind of shape to me, not necessarily these other shapes, as it were. So to me, it's very square, right? Which is interesting. I would love to know the crystalline structure of it. Obviously, I don't think we're going to learn fully that, but it is a fascinating thing to look at. Sorry, I'm saying four-sided. I mean six-sided. I mean a cube is what I mean, not a square. So this would be 3 planes of cleavage in the 3 dimensions, which you can see here. 3 at 90 degrees would be what this mineral is. Super interesting. So here is it's obviously metallic. This to me is what it looks like. It also could be halite or calcite halite, and calcite doesn't look as metallic as this. So that's my guess. If it's, not necessarily that's what it is in game, but it is what they are emulating, which is kind of cool. So a striking resemblance to galena, which, you know, I don't think that's what it directly is, but that is what it appears to be like, trying to look like in game.
Another great secret the universe is asking us.
Super fascinating. Oh my god, so cool. Oh my god, we're really all up in. It might not be Saturn. This could be. I think it's the planet we saw or the moon we saw earlier. Honestly. Oh, so cool. So pretty. Woo! What's going on with the gravitational? Pole here. I mean, to me, this looks like some kind of like there is some kind of odd, like gravitational field, which is fascinating. I would assume maybe surrounding whatever this structure is, which could be geologic in nature, could be a mineral structure. It's fascinating.
Throughout the galaxy could be
super pretty. Ooh, so cool. I love it. I'm really excited about it.
We are not stopping. Whatever lies at the end of this road.
Sick. Oh, look, we got that structure again. I think we did see this earlier with the some kind of water erosion on this planet at some point. These are totally stacks. So cool.
Will change
Oh.
humanity.
A lot around Saturn. I'm assuming there's some kind of mining occurring around Saturn. Perhaps on one of the moons. Oh, look at that. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. This is definitely some kind of exoplanet, just based off of how cold it looks, which is interesting. Although it could be near. Could be near. Fascinating. I don't think there's enough details here to fully understand what it is. I'm excited. A lot around Saturn. We just keep going back to Saturn, which I think is really fascinating. Just throughout this whole trailer.
It's where we belong.
Cool. Very exciting. Very exciting. All right, well, guys, that was my deep dive as an Earth scientist into some Starfield gameplay. Don't worry, when this game comes out, I will be diving into all of it and trying to assess geologically what's going on with the different planets we're exploring, so you can look forward to that. And, of course, talking about lore, talking about the game, and having a good time. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Have a safe and wonderful day in the wasteland. Don't forget about the giveaway, and peace!